Well, our next committee we're going to take a look at today is the GRF Mobility and Vehicles Committee, and we have Lucy Scheinman on. Nice to have you.
Nice to be here.
Your meeting was yesterday, and we were just talking a little bit. That is one of the things that was on the meeting, on the report, was, as people may know, we use the Prius vehicles for patrol cars, and you got a report on that and the history of having those here.
Yeah, I actually was not even aware they were here until somebody asked me whatever happened to them, why don't we have them anymore? Mm-hmm. And of course, in the beginning, they were quite relatively expensive.
They were, yes.
And they used sedans. They only had two,
Mm-hmm.
and they bought them, and they kept them for about 5 years. Now, the way a car or truck is used here is in security, which
Mm-hmm.
is where they were used. They park and they leave the motor running for long periods of time,
Mm-hmm.
and they watch. And then they
Right.
may run a few feet, and then they sit and watch some more. So that was perfect for an electric car,
Mm-hmm.
because the electricity was all that was being used. However, when they were judging how long to keep them, how many years usefulness there would be. We all know now people use Priuses for a couple 100,000 miles or more,
Mm-hmm.
and have no problems. And so the question was, why did you get rid of these cars when they should have had a much longer life? And since they were used only or almost entirely on their electric
Right.
portion of them, they should have lasted a lot longer. Because I think the weakness in Prius that I've seen, or in any Toyota, has been the transmission. But anyway, they were disposed of. So the question came up: well, now, why did you get rid of them, and how much did you get for them, and did some close friend happen to buy it and get a big bargain? None of which is true. They kept them for about 5 years. They got roughly $5,000 for each one as they sold it, which isn't much because they probably paid $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
They were expensive in the beginning.
Right.
And in fact, it may tell here how much they paid. I don't know. Doesn't look like it.
And these are, I remember when we first got these here.
2 for $48.
Okay, and they aren't the ones we know of today. They were basically the forerunner to the real popular Prius line. They were Toyota sedans, and I forget what they based them off of. And they had the hybrid engine, and so they called them the Prius. But it was, I don't know what Toyota used at the time, Corollas or whatever it was.
No,
but
could have
it was
been.
their first generation.
Yeah, and it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And Ralph Schaefer is in charge of all the vehicles, and he, of course, he loves to play. He says, I love to get new kinds of things because then I can take them apart and see how they're made.
Yeah.
So he was very anxious to have them. But anyway, the history of them came about. The next board, the first board that approved them, was very happy with them. And then the next board that came said, no, we would like to do Hondas instead. And and it moved, and each year a different board is the one purchasing, and they move on. Right now, the favorite is a Nissan Frontier, and they've been working with that for a few years, and they like that. So they may stick with that. I don't know. It depends on how hard he pushes when the time comes.
Okay.
Mostly we're going to say, well, you just got 6 new trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Take a pause.
All right. So you also got a report on the buses as well?
The normal report.
Okay.
Oh, well, the weekend schedule is the only semi-exciting thing. It's very quiet. The vehicles go right along, and nothing new happens for a great deal of the year. But the maintenance we look at, and the utilization, and because of the new scheduling that Ralph and Brian thought up for the weekends, why It's working beautifully.
Great.
They're very happy with it. They're going to continue. And as usual, in the back of their minds is how can we implement this to a degree during the week? Because it's still a situation where certain areas do not need a bus every hour on the hour. So they will try to pick those places and say, for you folks, when you want a bus, you just give us a call and we'll take care of you. But we're not going to schedule it into these areas.
Yeah, exactly. And overall, you've kind of alluded to this already. You always review vehicle utilization and where they maybe can be moved around to or reutilized.
Yeah. Well, when a vehicle has done its best in a particular usage, then they rotate it into some other area where it can be used for something else. And that was why the sedans were not actually the best type of vehicle. That a truck is more useful because you can use it for more different things.
Yeah, exactly.
As it ages.
Yeah. So that's why they're looking at the Nissans.
Yeah, but actually, this is not an every month committee for the simple reason that not a lot changes.
Yeah.
We got 6 new trucks, and he saved an empty space. Evidently, the authorization was for 7, and he's only ordered 6, and they hadn't even come. Now, this is the end of the year.
Yeah.
So he's saving his money till the end of the year. So one of these years, he's just not going to need to spend it, is he?
Yeah. All right, so your next meeting is, as you said, every couple months, so it'll be in February.
February 16th.
All right, very good.
Okay,
Thank you for the wrap-up of the Mobility Vehicles Committee, and we appreciate it, and we'll see you in a couple months, I guess.
I guess so.
All right, you take care. We'll be back.